Welcome, dear listeners, to a tale that will take you deep into the heart of mystery and resilience. Imagine a classroom of children vanishing without a trace, leaving behind nothing but questions and whispers of their fate. For nearly 4 decades, this enigma remained unsolved until now. Today, we unravel the chilling story of Sophie Ryder, a woman who emerged from the shadows of time claiming to be one of those lost students. Her words promise to shed light on what truly happened that fateful day in 1988. So settle in as we journey together into a story of survival, hope, and the unyielding human spirit. Stay with us. You won't want to miss this. When in 1988 a whole classroom full of students went missing, no one could believe it. It had been a mystery that confused a nation as its children had gone missing for almost 40 years. That was until a woman stepped forward, Sophie Ryder, a woman who claimed to have been part of the class the day they disappeared, promised to tell the bone-chilling story of their disappearance, and something happened that no one could have expected. It was the year 1988, a clear-skied Tuesday in April, as Mr. Hemington had led his students into the woods for a geography lesson. He had deemed it a great day for them to look at the blossoming flora and fauna, saying that real knowledge could often be obtained outside of the classroom due to real-life experience. He had no clue that that would become a huge mistake. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. In the spring of 1988, a seemingly ordinary school outing turned into one of the most bewildering mysteries of the era, captivating a nation for nearly 4 decades. On that fateful Tuesday in April, Mr. Hemington, a dedicated geography teacher, led his class of 23 students into the woods for an experiential learning session, believing that real-life exposure could impart invaluable lessons. The headmaster, confident in Mr. Hemington's judgment, approved the excursion, expecting the group to return by the end of the school day. However, as the clock struck 3, panic gripped the school when the class failed to return. Headmaster Clarkson, fearing the worst, promptly alerted the police, providing details of the group's likely whereabouts. Initial search efforts by 2 officers were fruitless, leading to a more extensive search involving additional officers, anxious parents, and even police dogs. The community was convinced that the group could not have simply vanished. Hope flickered briefly when the dogs picked up a scent, but it led only to a ribbon, not to the girl who wore it. As weeks turned into months, the search was reluctantly abandoned, leaving the community devastated. Symbolic funerals were held for the missing children and their teacher, though no remains were ever found. In the absence of closure, strange stories and folktales emerged, claiming that the cries of children could be heard during a full moon. The mystery lingered until Sophie Ryder, claiming to be one of the missing students, resurfaced nearly 35 years later, unrecognizable and transformed by time. Sophie, now a woman in her late 40s, returned to a town that had evolved with modernity. Her appearance was more reminiscent of her grandmother than her mother, who she hadn't seen since the day she disappeared. Disoriented by the changes, Sophie made her way to the police station, determined to end her long and mysterious journey. Despite her outdated clothing and disheveled appearance drawing curious and skeptical looks, Sophie approached the front desk with unwavering resolve, ready to share her chilling tale. Her account of the events that transpired in 1988 challenged the boundaries of belief. She claimed to be one of the children who vanished decades ago, a notion that strained credulity. Officers, intrigued yet skeptical, took notes while whispering among themselves, unsure how to proceed. Despite their skepticism, Sophie's unwavering narrative left them questioning the limits of possibility. As the mystery of the vanished classroom lingered in the air, tension escalated as Sophie faced disbelief from the officers, her frustration growing with each unanswered plea for understanding. The situation shifted when the police chief, intrigued by Sophie's claim, intervened. His commanding presence silenced the room, and he approached Sophie with cautious curiosity. Noticing a tattered ribbon in Sophie's hand, the chief recognized its significance. As he examined the ribbon, a pivotal moment unfolded, bridging disbelief and possibility. The chief connected the ribbon to the 1988 search for the missing class, recalling its symbolic importance in the unresolved mystery. Sophie's story gained validation as the chief acknowledged the ribbon's weight. He invited Sophie to his office for a private discussion intending to delve into old case files. The chief shared his first-hand experience from 1988, describing the day the ribbon was found and its haunting reminder of the unresolved case. Sophie listened, their shared understanding forming a bridge to the past. In his office, the chief compared Sophie's ribbon with one from the search, noting their striking similarity. The identical initials on the ribbons provided undeniable proof, lending credibility to story. The chief's skepticism waned as belief took root. Urged by newfound trust, he inquired about other survivors. Sophie hesitated, then recounted the fate of her classmates, her words weaving a tapestry of their ordeal. Sophie revealed the loss of the professor and the survival of a few, painting a grim picture. The chief processed the gravity of her account, marked by loss and resilience. A determination fueled his resolve to dig deeper into the case. He acknowledged the 35-year gap since their disappearance, understanding the urgency of acting on Sophie's information. Conversation shifted to planning a rescue operation. The chief organized resources, contacting search and rescue teams. The atmosphere was tense but focused as discussions about logistics and strategies filled the room. The chief's leadership shaped the beginnings of a coordinated effort to bring the survivors home. Sophie's account elicited hope and determination to aid the survivors. The chief's commitment strengthened, fueled by the resilience shown by Sophie and her classmates. Sophie described the survivors' grim circumstances, highlighting the toll of their prolonged isolation. The chief and his team listened, understanding the urgency of the rescue operation. The logistical challenge became apparent, with Sophie noting the small exit only she could traverse. She explained the terrain difficulty and narrow paths leading to their refuge. The conversation turned technical, focusing on equipment and strategies to reach the survivors. The revelation of their survival through a narrow escape route added complexity to the mission. The chief paced the room, considering the implications as they prepared to navigate the obstacles and rescue the survivors. Sophie provided critical details that shaped the rescue plan, understanding that conventional methods wouldn't suffice due to the operation's laxity. The team needed to innovate to navigate the perilous path. Sophie described the chief listened intently, absorbing Sophie's words, and the urgency compelled him to act swiftly, driven by the need to bring the survivors back to safety. The conversation turned strategic, focusing on executing a rescue mission under difficult circumstances. Maps were spread across the table, and routes were debated with rescue experts' input. The chief coordinated meticulously, ensuring every angle was considered, weighing risks and strategizing the best approach to safely extract the survivors. Despite confusion, he resolved to act, mobilizing specialized rescue teams to tackle the challenging conditions. The room buzzed with activity as calls were made and resources gathered, with the chief overseeing preparations to ensure the operation's success despite daunting odds. Sophie's hope and anxiety reflected the mixed emotions of anticipation and fear as the rescue operation took shape. She watched the flurry of activity, her heart caught between joy and dread. Her presence was a silent testament to the mission's stakes. Logistical and safety preparations highlighted the unique challenges posed by the situation. The chief oversaw equipment assembly and team briefings, emphasizing precision and care. Every piece of gear was checked and rechecked, requiring thorough planning and understanding of the daunting task ahead. The community's involvement grew, with specialized teams gathering to assist in the effort underlying the operation's significance. Volunteers from nearby areas offered skills and support, their collective determination palpable. The chief coordinated with these teams, directing contributions where most needed, underscoring the community's resolve to bring the survivors home. Sophie's story became a beacon of hope, motivating a collective effort to reunite survivors with their families. Her courage inspired a renewed sense of purpose among the teams, driven by the tangible goal of rescue and the mission's emotional weight. News of Sophie's miraculous return and sensational story spread, attracting media attention. Reporters converged on the police station, eager to capture every detail. Cameras and microphones were everywhere, with the media vying for interviews and updates. The police chief managed this influx, carefully balancing transparency with operational security. Sophie's story, now a global narrative, became a focal point for discussions about hope, resilience, and the human spirit. Sophie, unprepared for the media onslaught, was overwhelmed by questions and camera flashes contrasting her years of isolation. She navigated through microphones blinded by bright lights and was ushered away by officials seeking to shield her from public intensity. The media frenzy brought Sophie's tale into the limelight, captivating the nation. The story of survival and resilience drew attention to the operation's critical nature and collective hope for a successful rescue. At the rescue site, Sophie pointed out the small hidden cave entrance, emphasizing the operation's daunting reality. The rescue team gathered their focus sharp as they assessed the entry point. Sophie's guidance was invaluable. Her first-hand knowledge provided crucial details for navigating the operation's complexities. The rescue team, equipped with specialized gear, began expanding the passage without compromising safety. Every move was calculated, with experts carefully removing debris and reinforcing the structure. The operation was tense, underscored by the need to maintain the cave's integrity while creating a viable rescue path. Progress was made as the team painstakingly worked to ensure a safe entry into the cave, inching closer to the survivors. The sound of equipment and coordinated commands filled the air, a testament to the operation's complexity and the team's dedication. With each inch gained, anticipation grew, marking a significant step towards reaching those lost for so long. The atmosphere was tense with anticipation as the passage was finally opened, marking a significant breakthrough in the rescue effort. The rescue team and onlookers held their breath, watching as the first rays of light penetrated the long sealed cave. This moment, the culmination of countless hours of planning and labor, heralded a pivotal point in the mission. Sophie recounted the day their lives changed forever, describing the panic as a bear emerged from the woods, turning their laughter to screams. Their teacher, Mr. Hemington, quickly led them to a nearby cave for refuge from the threat. This decision, made in fear, altered the course of their lives. She explained how the cave collapsed, sealing them underground. Disbelief and fear gripped them as the reality of being trapped set in, with slim hopes of rescue. Sophie detailed their adaptation to life underground, using abandoned miners' supplies and the cave's resources for survival. They found old mining equipment crucial for daily existence. Water trickled from the cave walls, and they discovered edible fungi. Their will to live turned the cave from a prison into a home, showcasing resilience and ingenuity. Their survival, sustained by an underwater river and natural flora, underscored their resilience. They survived in darkness, relying on water whispers and the cave's modest bounty. This testament to their survival skills highlighted their adaptability and spirit against all odds. The community listened in awe as Sophie's story unfolded, revealing human endurance. Gathered in the town hall, people hung on every word, moved by their resilience. The story bridged the gap between the survivors' unimaginable reality and the outside world, united in admiration and relief. Other survivors corroborated Sophie's tale, adding details about the professor's death and those who succumbed to illness. Their voices, tinged with sadness, reinforced the survival narrative. They spoke of marking spots where friends and the teacher rest, a somber reminder of the price paid and bonds forged underground. They recounted their ceaseless search for an exit, culminating in discovering a small hole, a hopeful escape route. Working together, they explored every inch, their resolve never waning. The revelation sparked renewed vigor, driving them to widen it enough for one to pass a beacon of hope in prolonged darkness. Their narrative painted a picture of unwavering hope and determination amidst adversity, marking a poignant chapter in their saga. Despite daunting challenges, their spirit remained unbroken, fueled by the dream of return and reunion. This story, shared with the world, stood as a testament to human hope and resilience against insurmountable odds. The reunion with families unfolded a deeply emotional moment as loved ones reconnected after decades. In a spacious hall, survivors stepped into the arms of waiting families, tears and smiles mingling in pure joy. The air vibrated with names called out as hugs enveloped those lost now found and embraced in warmth. The survivor's tale resonated widely, becoming a story of resilient survival and the indomitable human spirit. News outlets and social media buzzed with discussions about their incredible journey. Schools and communities held gatherings to share their story, inspiring others with their courage and hope in overcoming challenges. Community support for survivors and families underscored humanity and compassion. Fundraisers and support groups offered resources and emotional backing. Local businesses contributed supplies and mental health professionals volunteered services, creating a network of care that wrapped survivors in a collective embrace, reinforcing the notion that no hardship is too great when faced together. The survivor's tale inspired globally. Letters and messages of support flooded in, testifying to their story's impact. Once isolated in the dark, they now shone as beacons of hope. Their legacy, a reminder of resilience in the human spirit. As media attention waned, survivors and families began moving forward together. Community events celebrated their return, integrating them back into society with love and support. The experience transformed them, but also fortified community bonds, showcasing profound strength and unity and shared compassion during adversity.